Well, guys, we did it. We made it all the way to 110. And it's pretty much the same team as 109. What's going on, guys? This is Arkaden, and as you can tell, I definitely am a bit under the weather as far as the way my voice sounds. However, not under the weather when it comes to being able to just straight up crush Abyss floors. We got through 110, dudes, and it's amazing. And as we said just a second ago, we are looking at the exact same team minus the healer. So if you didn't watch 109 yet, here's a link and suggestion for where you should go. I don't know how the heck you're here if you haven't beat 109, but there you go. Let's take a look at the team and we'll start talking about how the fight looks. So first up on the team, we're going to have Kitty Clarissa. As you can see, still on Durandal, still has probably lower health than necessary, but that's okay. She gets us through and it's not a huge deal. But basically when you're building her, you want her healthy, you want her speedy, and that's really the most important thing. Also for this particular floor, crit chance does not hurt. In fact, it probably helps out a lot when it comes to dual attacking the fire turtle guys in phase 2. So keep that in mind. She is literally a spitting image of the one that we just had in 109. And so if you just finished it and you already had one that worked in the last floor, this one should probably work for you too, assuming your crit rate's up there. Next up is Adventurer Ras. Basically the same as what we had before too. You still want to go with Arius. You want to have all of that damage mitigation. Extra defense is not going to hurt here. Always love that. But again, same as last time. The biggest reason that you have him on the team is for those dual attacks and being able to burn them with his S2 so that you can get defense break into more Taranor Guard hits, which we'll talk about here in a second. The one change that I made for my Adventurer Ras is going to be in the stats. So keep in mind that before he was a little bit faster and a little bit healthier. What we decided to do is change out, and I put this 90 neck on him that actually ends up giving him a crit chance that is better than 30%, brings it up to 96% by finishing that up. So keep that in mind. Again, you're going to want those dual attacks to make sure that they have a crit on one character and a crit on the second character for the fire turtles in phase 2. But otherwise, same exact as before. Taranor Guard, who we also don't change anything on, is also going to be in this team. Taranor Guard needs to, again, just like in the last video, be slow, healthy enough to be able to take a hit, but have a lot of attack, a lot of crit chance, a lot of crit damage. As you can see, we've almost hit the crit damage cap. We have 3,500 attack, which is pretty solid. And then, of course, the crit hit chance is not 100. And I'm going to be honest, I wish that it was 100 because there are several attacks that could have made this run just so much cleaner if we had just crit. And you'll see them when we get in there. But you're attacking with them so often that it's kind of not that big of a deal. You're keeping them on your team for your defense breaks. The Daydream Joker there for tons of extra percentage damage. Just a damage dealer that really fills in this niche and has been so good for 109 and 110. Finally, for this team, let's talk about the difference. The biggest difference here is that we're not using Rowana. We are going to be using Achates. Achates fills a very different role for this, but that's because the fight is slightly different. The three characters we used before add a very consistent level of just really fast, hard-hitting damage. Achates as the healer for this one is good because of the way that she heals. She has obviously the big heals on the S3 that are going to A, cleanse off all your debuffs, and B, heal everyone. And then of course being able to cycle that with her S2, which is going to give her the invulnerability on herself, or invincibility. I can't remember which one it is. The one that is her S2, it'll put that on her, and then it will also heal somebody because of this Rod of Amaryllis. Make sure you go with Rod of Amaryllis. You're gonna need the extra healing. It is a lot of damage. Thankfully, you have the Arius and also the Achates here to be able to kind of mitigate a large chunk of that damage and heal it back up. You'll notice for Achates, I do change out her gear. If you've ever seen me do anything on stream with her, which would be like a Dizzy Garment comp or anything like that, we are normally not gonna have her on this good of gear, but I ended up changing her out and putting it onto Krau's gear because we wanted her to be fast, we wanted her to be healthy, we wanted her to have some effect resistance, and then of course the EE on her also adds even more effect resist because we really don't want her receiving burns whenever she gets attacked, and we're gonna put her up front in this team. So that's kind of the way that this team works. So let's take a look at the way that it works in practice and why Achates and all of these three are just such a good final ending to our Abyss run. So jumping right into phase 1, basically the way that this fight's going to work is you're going to be just fighting against the Constorum of Revulsion. That's going to be the purple guy in the back. The purple guy and the blue guy that looks kind of like him that's just beneath him, they both actually push their entire team forward with combat readiness if you're actually doing any kind of AoE attacking. So that's why this team is so good. Constant single target, getting dual attacks is a lot of extra damage, a lot of forced damage, and a lot of stuff that is not going to, it's essentially going to ignore the mechanics for the whole beginning of this entire first phase, which is very nice. So my biggest suggestion would be jump right in and get rid of the Constorum that is purple in the back. Don't even attack anything else. Note to self, you will be going really, really fast with several of your characters that are just going to be faster than all of the other characters that are in here that you're fighting against. So because of that, don't really have to waste a heal on Achates right away. At most, use an S2 just to be able to maybe mitigate some of that damage that might be coming in, assuming that it actually hits Achates. But save your S3 until after the very first round is done. Long story short, this is a very easy phase. You're going to push yourself through it within literal seconds, and we'll jump right into phase 2. Jumping directly into phase 2, you're going to find out that you go against Aramintha. Aramintha has immediately a damage reduction sort of barrier that is immediately granted from kind of these like thermal powered energias behind her, which kind of look a little bit like lamps. So if you hear me referring to lamps, that's what I mean. So when it comes to this, this is the most RNG part of this entire fight. When you hit the lamps, 1 out of 3 of them will actually stun the other 2 and allow you to get the damage debuff off of, or sorry, the damage reduction buff off of Aramintha. You don't know. There's no way to know. You have to take a 33.33, repeating of course, percentage chance every single time you fight. So if you have any RNG problems with this, that's going to be it. I definitely had some, and I definitely did this run earlier without having as much crit chance, and that was an RNG fest as well. So again, this is why the crit was super important for the next phase. But right here, there's no way to stop this RNG. Make sure that you just take a shot, and if it stuns the 2 of them, cool. Jump directly onto fighting Aramintha until she pushes into phase 3. Phase 3, you'll see Aramintha, and then you'll see 2 sort of fire turtle guys. The way that they work is they will do a ton of extra damage, and they will actually make it so that Aramintha, not only can she like not really be attacked because she's going to have a sort of another barrier around herself, but also you don't want to heal during that phase, because if you heal, you'll also kind of like wipe your team. So note to self, you can heal during the first Aramintha part, but you cannot as soon as she becomes Silver Blade while the 2 turtles are sort of like ready to attack. So the way to make those 2 turtle guys kind of useless in this fight is that you have to hit them 4 times each, and you have to hit them and crit them 4 times. If you do not crit, it will not force the phase. You'll be able to see when they're phased because their faces will turn from the normal color of the fire turtle guy to sort of like a dark black, like a almost like demon soul looking look. So once you see that, you'll know that they don't need to be attacked anymore. Once you've gotten enough dual attacks, again, why this is super important to have that Kitty Clarissa A Ras Taranor Guard combo, you'll be able to actually knock down the sort of immunity slash invulnerability, basically the thing that's going to make Aramintha not be able to take like nearly the damage. That will fall off, and then you do all your damage to Aramintha. This will happen 2 to 3 times, so make sure that you go through and again, when you see that the turtles like faces have changed back to regular, and it'll make an animation, you'll notice it. Make sure that you don't heal anymore, and you don't want to attack Aramintha anymore. You definitely want to just spend your entire life making sure that you hit 4 times on those turtles until they phase. Once they phase, go back to Aramintha, rinse, repeat. That's it. This is the entirety of this fight. The RNG phase in the lamp is really annoying, but beyond that, if you get through that phase on a 33% chance, you're good to go. Also, note to self, this was one of the fastest stage 1s, so this is also just like one of the easiest floors in all of the 101 to 110 scenario. Well, guys, we made it. That's it. We finished all the rest of Abyss for all of 2020. So that's kind of exciting. I hope you guys enjoyed this content and all of the like random, crazy RNG nonsense. Yeah, you're right. I can't even convince myself that it was actually amazing. There are definitely some things that need to be fixed next time around for the Abyss runs, but there were some actual fun ones in here. I did love 101. I liked the way 110 was put together, albeit it was a little bit easy. There were some good ones and some bad ones. So RNG being what it is, hopefully they change some of that stuff up as time goes on, but we'll see. Anyways, dudes, if you love this content, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. We love hearing all of your guys' feedback, and we love having you guys to be just part of the community. We really do appreciate you guys a lot. Have a great rest of your day. We will see you guys in the next video. Peace, dudes.